Hey guys, as I've mentioned in some of my previous video reviews, I've got a lot of stuff to review, okay? I'm not running out of material anytime soon, but as I keep delaying some of these videos, some of this stuff just seems to keep piling and piling and piling, with brand new stuff just now arriving here at the house, which means I've got lots and lots to go through. So it's time for me to play a little catch up. So that being said, this is just your normal reviewing station here. Nothing special, no red background or anything like that. There's not going to be any video editing in this. Maybe I'll throw my logo up here and maybe the intro to the video review series. But other than that, there's not going to be any other kind of editing. I'm not going to cut anything out. I'm not going to add anything special. No subtitles at the bottom, anything like that. It's time to get real, it's time to go into real time, and it's time to catch up with some of these long anticipated video reviews. But to start off the first official video review recording of December, because everything else that I've uploaded in December is actually November's material, I'm going to do something out of the norm. And here it is. Bet you didn't see this coming. And in all honesty, even I didn't see this coming. As a matter of fact, you would probably notice that my last video review that was uploaded from November was pretty much the Michonne sword, that prop replica from ThinkGeek that I was able to acquire at my local movie stop. But that being said, that's like an hour away from this place. But anyway, when I took the sword back and got my money back, I came across this. And since I am starting now to get into the movie license of NECA's toys, I have figured, since I've got the Ultimate T-800 figure, why not just go ahead and get the Endoskeleton, because that plays of the Terminator franchise itself, period. So, awesome. And not to mention, this is my first ever Endoskeleton action figure that I will be showing you in just a moment. But this doesn't come from Terminator 2 Judgment Day. This is the original Terminator. As it says right here, the Terminator, ages 17 and up. Just in case you didn't know. The Endoskeleton. On the sides here, we got Cyberdyne Systems, letting you know the company that is responsible for this. Once again, Cyberdyne Systems, Endoskeleton. On the back, we got a bio for the T-800. Some specific information. If you want to read it, go ahead and pause the viewer. If not, we'll just move ahead. So, there you go. That's it for that. Now, let's get to the figure, because we got a lot to talk about with this figure. Starting off with, he cannot stand for shit. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you. He cannot stand for shit. That being said, the longest that I've had this figure posed on my stand without falling over is maybe 2 minutes max. This figure has got an issue when it comes to PVC plastic. It's using a lot of that very flexible gummy plastic for the feet, the hands, and it kind of makes this figure weak. I love the detail on this figure outside of that, but the fact is it's using the wrong style of plastic. Now, that being said, his weapon is a hard plastic, which we'll get to in just a moment, but the execution on this figure could have been so much better if they had used a better material. This line, or pretty much NECA period, is very much reminding me of McFarlane Toys, and I'm talking about the certain thing of McFarlane Toys that I totally despise, and that's the quality of these figures. Because, you know, when it comes to video games, movies, action figures of that stature, they're really using the wrong material, especially with how detailed they have to go with these figures. And these are figures that are definitely not targeted at children, though I've seen children play around with these figures and break them very instantly. That's not what this is all about. Let's just get into the figure already before I waste your time. So, here it is. The Endoskeleton, the T-800. So it's pretty badass. I gotta be honest about that. This sculpting is very impressive. As a matter of fact, I need to give a little bit of some acknowledgement to those who actually worked on this action figure. And it happens to be a traditional thing to NECA Toys. As you can see on the bottom of the packaging, they mention all the people that are responsible for the creation of this figure and of any other movie figures of the movie license. So, yeah, it's kind of like Hot Toys in a way. So there you go. Well done, people. So, back to the Terminator figure himself. Like I said, detail on this figure is spot on. This looks great. A lot of people say that this is like chrome paint. You know, this is just like a dull silver to me. I don't understand the chrome talk about this thing. I mean, if it's chrome, that's cool, but, you know, it's not very mirror reflective like, so, you know, it's not chrome. But I do like the black wash on this figure. It's all the way around this figure. So, see? Completely painted on the back as well. Completely black washed on the back as well. Suck on that, Bandai America. But, you know, there's a difference between a $20 price figure and a $10 price figure. But not much of a difference, though. But still, cool figure. I really do like the details. I mean, they went all out on the details. NECA has a great staff of people that work on these figures to the teeth. Speaking of the teeth, look how yellow those are. That's very movie accurate. This is a great figure, it really is. Even though it's got its problems, I really do enjoy this figure. But if there's one thing that I cannot be so forgiving about, it's the fact that his weapon is heavier than the figure himself. This is a lightweight figure. His face plasma rifle in the 40-watt range is actually heavier than the actual endoskeleton himself. As you can see, it makes his arm droop. I mean, that's bad. That is some bad quality there, unfortunately. And I have already taken some super glue and tightened these joints, but as you can see, it's only done so much. And I will also say that this figure cannot hold his plasma rifle whatsoever. It is being held in by a rubber band that I just happened to come across one of my Star Wars Black Series figures and have stolen from it. So, unfortunately, this figure does not have a rubber band to hold the rifle in hand when you first pull it out of the box, so you're just going to have to work with what you got. But without the rubber band, this would just fall right out of his hands completely. It's a waste of time, just like that 3 3/4 inch Darth Vader I reviewed not that long ago. Anyway, let's get to the articulation on this guy, because there's quite a bit. He's got a ball jointed head. He's actually got a rotation to his neck as well. A lot of people say that it's hindered, but I will tell you the truth. I'm not seeing much of a hindrance, especially with these wires here. I have messed with this figure a lot, and I'm not worried about anything breaking here because I know how to take care of my figures. Anyway, back to the articulation. Universal shoulder joint, kind of tight on this arm. Got bicep swivel, or should I say upper bicep swivel. Elbow joint, single jointed. You will notice that the hydraulics move as well. That's cool. I love that, especially on the waist. That's freaking awesome. I love it. Wrist rotation. I wish this was on a ball joint, but it's not. No ab crunch, people. Even though this does move here, this actually slides up. It does not have an ab crunch. I've already taken this figure apart to tighten a few things to it, and there's no ball joint. So don't try it. You'll break it. Anyway, waist swivel, legs go up, back, the hydraulics move as well, so it's in and out as well. Single jointed knees, pretty good distance. And then there's rotation at the foot, and there's also some foot movement here at the bottom, or toe articulation as it's called, though it is kind of hard to move it, and I don't want to run the risk of breaking it. But there you go, guys. That's pretty much going to do it for this video review. I've got really nothing else to say except that if you are going to get this figure, chances are you're going to have a hard time finding him now since it's been out for a while. But you might want to check your local Toys R Us stores, maybe your movie stop if you got one, or Hastings, whatever it's called, because that's where I got my figure for a pretty fair price. But you're really going to need one of these SH Figure Art stands or something close to it, because I'm telling you, you're never going to get this figure to stay positioned in the pose that you so desire for